The second half of 2025, beginning in June, marks a period when everything no longer stays the same for Capricorn. Saturn, your ruling planet, is transitioning into a different energy zone, forming alignments with water and earth signs. This shift compels you to reevaluate everything you're living through: your work, your relationships, the way you make daily choices. It's no longer about what should I do, but rather, does this still align with who I am? The changes don't come from major events, they seep in from the smallest things. A morning when you can't bring yourself to get out of bed for work, a conversation that makes you realize you're no longer the person you used to be. As Venus enters your 7th house, the area of one-on-one connections, you begin to question relationships you once thought were solid. Some people you expected to walk with you for a long time now feel distant, not because of conflict, just because there's no longer a shared language between you. You no longer want to force things. You're done staying silent for the sake of harmony or burying your real emotions in the name of duty. If you used to keep quiet just to keep the peace, now you realize silence doesn't fix anything. Instead, you're starting to let go of what no longer nourishes you. Your loyalty is still intact, but this time, it's loyalty to yourself, not to the image others expect you to maintain. This isn't a rebellion, but it is a moment of clarity, a quiet inventory of what still fits and what no longer does. What once felt like routine, what used to be called stability, now no longer holds its place. You may not be ready to say everything out loud, but inside you know you've already shifted, and you're not looking back. In the second half of 2025, you no longer need to juggle multiple things at once. With Mars and Jupiter taking turns activating the houses of action and growth, your energy begins to consolidate. No more scattered focus, no more chasing unclear goals. This is the time to choose one direction and commit to it. Many Capricorns may find themselves torn between two paths, continuing something familiar or starting something new that feels uncertain. Both options have their reasons. But this period doesn't allow you to hesitate for long. Fiery transits, especially when the full moon activates the 3rd, 9th house axis, will push you into a position where a decision must be made. Not choosing is, effectively, staying still, and staying still now means falling behind. The most important question isn't which option is easier, it's which one makes you feel like you're truly living. You might pick your old job because it's safe, but if every workday feels like you're forcing yourself through it, by the end of the year, you won't even recognize yourself. Every decision during this phase should hinge on one thing. Does it make you want to keep going? Saturn, your ruling planet, is currently positioned to demand high discipline. You don't need to begin with something grand. You just need consistency. You just need certainty. Start with the smallest things. Planning your week, cutting out distractions, organizing your physical space. Each of these steps helps you gather your energy and reframe your rhythm. Many Capricorns won't see immediate results. There may be no clear sign you're on the right path. But if you stay steady for 3 months, the structure of what you're building will come into focus. From September onward, as planets begin to shift into the upper half of your birth chart, you'll feel a stronger push to expand. But if there's nothing to expand, if you haven't started now, then when opportunity comes, you'll have nothing to meet it with. So the most important thing right now isn't waiting, it's beginning and staying the course. Because during these 6 months, what you build, however small, could become the foundation for the next 5 years. Unlike before, this time Capricorn no longer wants to work just to survive. As the planets move through your 2nd and 6th houses, the areas that govern finance and skills, you begin to see money differently, not just as a number, but as a foundation, a source of long-term stability, a sense of security when you think about the future. You're no longer drawn to things that come fast and carry high risk. What you're seeking now is real value, wealth that comes with resilience. The combination of Jupiter and favorable aspects from Venus in Earth signs gives you the ability to see ahead and build with intention. Even if things still feel unclear right now, you've started thinking about saving, investing, mastering your craft. This is the moment to ask yourself a simple question: am I using my full potential? If the answer is not quite, then this phase is your chance to re-examine the way you earn a living. You may be good at many things, but which one gives you the most confidence? Which one could you do consistently for the next 5 years without burning out? The planets in your 6th house are supporting skill building and professional development. Don't overlook small or mundane tasks just because they don't look impressive. Those are exactly the things that can sustain you. Many Capricorns during this time will come to a realization. You have the capacity to take control of your finances, but you've never fully used it. Maybe you've already learned a skill in the past, or you now have a chance to learn something new. Don't dismiss it. Whether old or new, these skills could become your main source of income if you know how to develop and systematize them. Some of you may also find yourselves at the beginning of something fresh, a side hustle, a small project, or even the first steps towards self-employment. Mars casting an aspect on your 10th house will spark unexpected motivation. Maybe today it's just a small idea, but if you see it through, it could turn into something real. What matters most is starting, even if it's just one step. Your finances may not show a clear uptick in the first month, but each steady move you make now will become the groundwork for long-term growth. Your ruling planet, Saturn, doesn't bring fast rewards, but ensures that if you do it right and you do it consistently, the results will stay. And you're no longer in a phase of life where you want to start over every year. What you're looking for now is a way to live well and keep that well-being going far into the future. You might be doing well, your finances are gradually stabilizing, and your work no longer feels as chaotic as before. But there are still moments on an otherwise uneventful day when you feel an emptiness inside. No clear reason, just the sense that no one truly understands you, that no one really feels close. Even though people are still around, aspects from the 12th house and the influence of Neptune push your emotions inward. You don't share much and you rarely speak up, partly because you don't know where to begin and partly because you fear that even if you do speak, it won't change anything. The more you grow, the more familiar you become with holding unnamed emotions on your own. Capricorn is naturally strong, but sometimes you're so strong that no one even notices you're tired. No one sees that you might need care. And you don't want to trouble anyone either. The problem is, you forget to ask yourself what you actually need, beyond just trying harder. What you've built may be solid, but if you're empty inside, that stability can feel cold. Some of you might find yourselves thinking about a past relationship or feeling lost in a current one, not because the other person isn't good enough, but because you're not sure what you even feel anymore. The 4th house, the zone of belonging, is being activated, and you may find yourself asking, am I in a relationship or just sharing space with someone? This is the time to reconnect with your real emotions. You don't need to share with anyone just yet, but at the very least, you should allow yourself to admit you're feeling a lack, even if nothing seems obviously missing. What you need may not be advice, it may simply be a space where you can be fully present as you are. No roles, no titles, no need to keep it all together. As the 5th house, the realm of romance, begins receiving bright transits from the fast-moving planets, you might find yourself surprised. Someone shows up, not the type you usually go for, not overly perfect, not dramatic, but they make you feel safe, make you want to open up, even if you don't know exactly why. This isn't the same kind of relationship you've had before. It's not a fire that blazes hot at first and then cools just as fast. It's a quiet kind of kindness, coming from someone who seems patient. With Mercury forming a trine to your 7th house, communication becomes easy. You might start with a few texts, a few aimless conversations, and somehow, it just clicks. Many Capricorns will be surprised to find themselves drawn to someone completely different from their past preferences. Maybe they don't stand out at first, but being around them doesn't make you feel like you have to try so hard. You don't have to prove anything. You just get to be yourself. And for some of you, it's exactly that sense of unfamiliar comfort that makes your heart stir. The movement of Venus into your 5th or 7th house later in the year could also bring a chance for something lasting. It doesn't have to be called love right away, but it is a connection with a foundation, a kind of relationship that could go the distance, if both of you give it space and time. Most importantly, you need to let go of old definitions of love in order to see the opportunity clearly. If you've been through heartbreak or are still carrying layers of doubt, remember this. The new person in your life isn't responsible for healing the wounds left by someone else, but they might walk with you through it if you don't deny your own capacity to love. The 12th house is being illuminated now. This is also a time to forgive yourself for the choices you once made. Don't dismiss relationships that begin with gentleness, because what doesn't overwhelm you might be exactly what helps you endure. If someone is about to enter your life during this time, they might not come with a perfect story, but they'll bring something else: truth. And that might be what you need most. If there's one thing you need to understand in the second half of the year, it's this: you're not going back to where you were, but you can start over, just in a different way. Your 10th house, ruling career, status, and social roles, is being activated by planets carrying leadership energy. This is not the time to wait for rescue. This is the time to step forward and take initiative. Mars forming an aspect with Uranus in your identity zone urges you to break away from your old way of living. There's no longer time to sit and wonder, should I or shouldn't I? If opportunity knocks, answer with action. You don't need to have everything figured out, you just need to be willing to try. What arrives unexpectedly might be exactly what carries you the farthest. You'll feel an urge to take ownership of something, maybe your job, a major decision, or even your own emotional truth. Aries energy lighting up the top of your birth chart pushes you to be more assertive, more authentic, more willing to explore what once made you hesitate. You'll start to realize that control doesn't come from keeping everything steady, it comes from being willing to face reality and reshape it. Some Capricorns may feel this message very clearly. A new opportunity is arriving, and it's better than the one you missed, not because it's more perfect, but because you are no longer the same. The person who was rejected back then is not who you are today. And now, with all your past experience, you're being handed a chance you weren't ready for before, as your 11th house receives light from Saturn, your ruling planet. Meaningful connections will start to take form. This is no longer a time to seek validation from the crowd. It's a time to find your true community, the right people, the ones on your wavelength. These people won't be loud or flashy, they won't make big promises, but they'll walk beside you long enough that you'll know they're real. Between now and the end of the year, at least one opportunity will make you ask yourself, is this my last shot to try again? The answer is no. You can always start again, but this chance is different. It's not the past repeating, it's the matured version of something once unfinished. And you don't have to make it look like anyone else's story. You only need to make it true to who you are now. You've grown used to the years where you had to push harder, do more than others, just to have the basics. But in the second half of 2025, the rhythm of your life starts to shift. It's not necessarily easier, but it is undeniably simpler, lighter, less tangled, less overwhelming. Uranus, forming a trine with Earth signs, helps you learn how to streamline your life, letting go of tasks that aren't yours to carry, letting go of roles that no longer fit. You no longer need to appear okay. You no longer need to chase something just to prove your worth. You are enough. And now is the time to choose to live more deeply instead of more busily. If in the past you used to take the long way around to avoid conflict, this time you begin to go straight. No dodging, no hiding. The 12th house, the place where unspoken truths are held, is being released. You face yourself more clearly. You begin to admit even the parts you once avoided, not to drown in them, but to finally walk free. Some of you may end a relationship or leave a place you once thought was permanent, but this departure doesn't come with regret, only a quiet sense of, that's enough now. And when the old falls away, the emptiness won't last as long as you imagine. Something newer, something gentler will fill the space. Naturally, not forced, not because of lack, but because you're ready. For those building financial stability, these 6 months mark the time when your persistence begins to bear fruit. No dramatic leaps, but solid ground. The 2nd and 6th houses working in harmony help you regain balance in your daily life. You no longer feel like you're running in circles. By year's end, that sense of, I know what I'm doing, becomes very real. And if there's one thing you should carry with you from this journey, it's this: simplicity. The simpler things are, the more easily you can live in alignment with who you are. The fewer things to worry about, the clearer it becomes what really matters. Not everyone will understand the way you choose to live, but that's okay. You're not here to be understood. You're here to be at peace with yourself. If any part of this forecast resonated with something you've been quietly carrying, leave a comment below. Each listener is walking their own path, and your sharing might just help someone else see themselves more clearly. And if you'd like to keep hearing upcoming guidance for Capricorn, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Just one click so you never miss the insight you were meant to hear.